Google buys Motorola Mobility for staggering $12.5 billion. Samsung planning an August 29th event, hopefully to launch the US versions of the Galaxy S2, and leaks of what Android ice cream sandwich will look like. All this and more coming up right now. Hello everyone, I'm Jaime Rivera with Pocketnow.com and welcome to Android Revolution, the show where we cover what's hot and what's not inside of Google's Android project. Let's start this week off with what's hot. Now, what could be hotter this week than the surprising news that Google just bought Motorola Mobility? At least this kills all the rumors of who's building the next Google Nexus Prime. Obviously, it's going to be Motorola. The deal went through for a staggering $12.5 billion, and the deal was smart in every way if you ask me. First of all, Android was what pulled Motorola out of the Chapter 11 pit, and well, Motorola did a really good job in putting Android on the map with their Droid lineup. Heck, everybody comes up to me and asks me if I'm carrying a Droid whenever they see me with my Google Nexus 1. People don't really relate the difference of what a Droid is and what Android is. So, just to give you an idea of who developed top of mind. And so, well, prepare for bigger and better things as of now, because obviously Google's going to be handling this as a separate business. Motorola's going to be completely independent, though we will see a larger lineup of Android devices coming from Motorola from here on. Love the idea. Out of the hot leaks this week, we have images of what we expect to be Google's next generation OS Android ice cream sandwich, which you'll notice has 4 icons at the bottom, and then we have blue indicators. That's pretty much it aside from that. Well, and we also have images of a Samsung Z-Lux, which seems to be like a Samsung Galaxy S2, only that it's sporting LTE. We also have on the HTC World new releases of the Bliss and the Pico coming up on Blurry Cam, though there aren't really good specs coming out there. Hopefully these will just be budget devices. And well, we have the T-Mobile HTC Ruby, which is expected to be the next T-Mobile flagship, sporting a 1.5 dual-core processor and really good specs. HTC also gave us a glimpse of their probable next-generation NFC device, which is the HTC Stunning, which, by the way, is pretty much the same HTC Incredible S that we already know. Moving away from HTC, we have the Pantech Apollo. And before you tell me that Pantech doesn't really do good hardware, this device brings LTE to Verizon, so we're hoping that this device will really raise the bar for Pantech, because in the past we were only used to seeing a lot of cheap hardware. And well, aside from that, other rumors have HTC Vigor coming up, the Samsung Stratosphere, and the LG Revolution 2. All really good devices coming up, so let's hope our man Evan Blass hooks us up with more information on these leaks. Out of the launches for the week, set your calendars to August 29th. That's the date that Samsung's planning an event, and we're expecting for them to release finally their variants of the Galaxy S2 in the United States. A date that everybody's waiting for, and obviously we'll be on top of it, covering everything that you need to know. Let's hope that Samsung doesn't disappoint anybody. Aside from that, Motorola just made their the 5 Plus official, which is the waterproof, groundbreaking device that everybody out there needs, just that everybody out there doesn't want to accept. But it's really interesting. It brings the typical specs of every smartphone, but sadly it doesn't bring a dual-core processor as of now. It's pretty much a mid-range device. And well, LG Victor, that we've heard of before, just decided to change their name to a fancier device, and now it's called the LG Optimus Soul, and it's being released in Vodafone in Europe. It's a mid-range Android smartphone, not really interesting in specs. Aside from that, Samsung is also offering a Galaxy R, which is not a Galaxy S. It's a Galaxy R that has almost every single spec that the Galaxy S2 has, but from different manufacturers. It's got a Tegra 2 processor instead of a Samsung Exynos processor. Really interesting to see why. And well, aside from that, be sure to check out our reviews. We have the Droid 3 review, full review, posted by Dickie Adams recently. And well, aside from that, Joe Levi is currently on top of the Wildfire S from HTC, which sadly is a bit of a disappointment. Be sure to check out the reviews as of now. On the software update side, make sure you update your Adobe Flash Player, as it was recently updated on the Android market. AT&T is promising to bring Gingerbread to their Samsung Infuse 4G this month, though they're just promising it. They're not confirming it yet. And well, aside from that, the European version of the HTC Sensation just got bumped to Android 2.3.4 Gingerbread. Though since the phone already rocked Gingerbread in the past, you'd wonder what the update was for. Not really sure. Hopefully I'm gonna regret adding this to the news, because the Kyocera Corsair Echo is getting Gingerbread again as of now. Let's cross our fingers and hope that it's working this time and not bricking devices. And finally, if you were interested in bringing your old HTC Desire to Gingerbread, make sure you visit Anton's recent post on how to upgrade to Gingerbread and make it work. He does a really good job in bringing a step-by-step guide on how to do it, so make sure you catch on that. Moving over to the dark side, where we cover everything that's hack related, the Motorola Photon 4G finally got its bootloader unlocked. So before somebody figures out how to pull it, make sure you head on over to XDA Developers for your full step-by-step guide on how to do it. Aside from that, the HTC Evo 4G also got rooted with Revolutionary. So if you stayed on Froyo just to keep the root, upgrade your device and make sure you follow the step-by-step instructions that we posted and linked. Aside from that, hackers have already figured out how to port Google videos for rooted devices, because you know that was blocked on whichever device was rooted. So if you purchase Google videos and movies and you haven't been able to watch them, make sure you go on over to our post and see how you can get it done as of now. Really cool, because hey, these are your movies. You're entitled to watch them no matter what you do with your device. Okay, so that does it with what's hot. Let's continue on with what's not. Dell really has bad luck with smartphones, and especially when they decide to build a device that's neither a smartphone nor a tablet. Nobody really knew what the Dell Streak 5 was. I mean, it was too small to be a tablet, too large to be a smartphone, but then again, they wanted to advertise it as both. And sadly, people are not after both, because it's currently being pulled by Dell. It's currently being canceled, sadly, because it simply didn't cut it. People didn't really like it. So we're sad to see an Android device that was probably promising being pulled, but sadly that's the truth. We really don't know what's going on with Dell. They don't seem to figure it out. Sadly, we caught on to some rumors of a Samsung Omnia W and other really cool devices in a lineup that sounded really promising. Heck, it even had a 720p HD screen device on a world where QHD is pretty much the standard. That's what everybody gets aside from the Retina display. You don't really get much more than that, so imagine 720p screens available on Samsung devices. But sadly, Samsung came up and said, no, wait, this is wrong, it's not real, it's not something we offer. At least that's what they want people to believe. Obviously, Samsung is really good in innovation, so we are expecting that Samsung's only trying to pull people off their backs. And well, we're talking about competition, obviously, because it's too early for these devices to be released. We don't see the technology being there just yet. It could probably be a midterm to long-term roadmap of devices we can expect from Samsung. And well, we'll just hit you back in the future whenever Samsung comes out and says, yes, it was real, we were just pulling it back, and we'll relate to this post and say, hey, yeah, we leaked it. That's it for today's show. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Jaime Rivera. Remember to give us a thumbs up if you like what you saw. That's it for now.